touch on the letters.
I can just speak to
But then go for him through Kate.
take you through faith. Nakumbuka Aleph. Niliona watu wanasahau the meanings, but let me just put them quickly there. Container. What contains the family, the house?
The house.
Email,
Amen.
where you get the word camel.
Camel is where?
Travel far.
Tent door.
Sorry. Dalet. Mlango ikifunguka, entry, the beginning of things.
Revelation.
Okay. Remember to receive revelation.
Revelation is 25. Wow.
But them to say, hey, really something awesome.
Wow.
The tenth faith reinforce, it makes the tenth stronger. Strengthens the meanings of design, cutting tool. Used in a lot of words to do the portioning, dividing. Last week tukafanyia faith, which is a fence. The container or a house keeps things inside. Fence keeps things
outside.
So this leo ndo tutafanya Teyth. Teyth was tricky to figure it out. But we finally got the meaning. It took praying and searching and researching and investigating to get the meaning of Teyth. So Teyth is mud or clay. And that is the object. And the action that gives the letter its meaning ni stickiness. Shiona kama niliona nikiia gumboots vile, it is so sticky that hata unaweza acha viatu kwa matope. The way it sticks, it holds. So the meaning of Teyth is to bind, like an adhesive, something that inashikilia, to bond. And you'll find the word is used to do with words that have something to do with being bound or being held together. Okay? So to hold things together or to bond. Teyth or Teyth. Okay. So, an example of our word, first we go through the root. Remember the structure? 2 letters root, 3 letters, now you get the word. And the meaning of the word comes from the root. So, there are how many possible roots? There are 22 letters, and you can combine them in 2, so it's 22 to the power. This is to bind, sindio? And bait, to contain or to have within. Sindio? So, bind inside. Okay? It is bound inside. Imeshikana ndani. Okay? Bound within or held together inside. Now, that's the root. There's no Hebrew word tob. I know Ben will say there is.
No, that's with the
There's
staff.
no Hebrew word tob.
That's with staff.
Yes. There's no Hebrew word tob. But there is a Hebrew word tob with the verb. And you remember this is an intensifier. So if tob is to bond within, tob is to bond strongly within, or held together strongly inside. Okay? And that is the Hebrew word for well-made. First used in Genesis, after God, the reason I've put these animals is, after God made everything, he said it is good. The Hebrew word there is tob. God looked at everything he made and said it is tob. Many people think what God was saying was, it's beautiful. Yes, it was beautiful. But the Hebrew word tob, proper translation is well made. Tob. And how do you know something is well made? It doesn't vunjika easily. You know, you're talking about a watch today. You know, a well-made watch, ikianguka chini, you pick it up, it's still working. Because inside imetengenezwa strong. It's strong inside. The inside is made, held together, strong. And that is the mark of being well made. It is good because it is well made. And I think this should make you think of something. I think what God was trying to say, what God was saying here is, it is not necessarily good just because it looks good. You get? Kitu unaweza iangalia unaona look. In fact, keep that in mind for the next word. This time I put two words. I put one positive word, one negative word. Okay? It is good because it is well made. It is held well inside. Okay? Because there are some things that look good, but they're not well made inside. And that brings us to the next word. Tobu. Now, tob is good. When you put lament, what does lament mean? Remember this letter? Ni mtu ameinua kiboko, you know kiboko. When someone raises a kiboko like this, what is he saying? Stop. No. Swahili, la. No. So, tob means good. Tobul means not good. And that's the Hebrew word for died.
To die for dying.
Die, like the way you see the dye in the clothes. Why was that word picked for dye? Because the dye deceives you. What they were saying is, you can buy a shirt that is green. It is good when it is new. But it can fade. And then you dye dark green again. So now it looks good, but it's not really good because it is dyed. So the Hebrew word dye, that's where the meaning came from. When you dye, most of the time, you know, umevaa jeans mpaka imefade alafu dye black tena. So it's not really good. It's not really well made. Nimze. But it looks good because you've done. So I think in the market, if you are walking with somebody in the market and you pick a jeans and you say, hey, jeans ni poa, anakwambia hii imedaiwa. Tena na hiyo, chukua ile mpya, itapigwa dai. Make sense?
Yeah.
So atakwambia, ile ni top, hiyo ni tobel. Ile ni top. Is that the way Hebrew is structured?
Let me get you back, way back. I don't understand something. Let me get you back.
You could say God is
When you
saying,
say-
this is not tobel. This is top.
When you say,
Good as new.
so Melissa, I can ask a question.
Yes,
I want to take you back. When you say a Hebrew word, every Hebrew word has a root word. What do you mean, root word?
The way the words are structured, or the way the language is structured, you have the letter, and the letter has a meaning. Okay? When you put two letters together, then the meaning of that two-letter word comes from the meaning of those two letters. And a two-letter word, which is the smallest possible
So
word.
they can't be one letter word.
No.
Okay.
And why would you have one letter word? If it is
What
one
about
letter,
what Christ was saying
it is
about the Yod.
oh, it's because, see, when you say not one yod or one teit or titu, it's because when you write with these characters, when you write with this, which is what they were using when Christ was around, yeah, the smallest letter is the yod.
In terms of smallest, in terms of appearance.
Yeah, it's like what Jesus was saying is, the law shall not pass, not even one full stop, or that dot on top of the I.
The smallest part of a lesson.
Smallest letter.
Smallest letter.
It's telling you the law shall not pass, not even the smallest letter of the law. Not even, yani anakwambia, this law is so important, hata ile full stop, ama kale ka dot unekanga on top of the letter I. hata hiyo haitapotea.
So he wasn't actually referring to a word that in the
Yod,
statement.
no. The letter Yod and the letter Teyth.
So every word in Hebrew must be at least two.
The
At least
smallest possible word.
in Hebrew language is 2 letters.
And anyway, the Hebrew word for word, which is daba, means to arrange. You know, how do you arrange one thing? The smallest possible arrangement of anything are 2 objects. You know, sisi kwambia panga hiyo kikombe. Utapangaje kikombe moja? Zikiwa mbili, moja iko pale, moja inaweza kwambia zipange in a straight line ama zipange. So the daba, to arrange, the smallest possible arrangement of letters is 2 letters. And all Hebrew words are 3 letters. All Hebrew words are 3 letters. If you have a Hebrew word that is more than 3 letters, it is a Hebrew word with what is called a prefix or a suffix. These are additional letters that modify the meaning of that word. Like
so all, respective of what you are referring to in Hebrew, they are all 3 letters.
all Hebrew words are 3 letters.
Okay.
Like this is a proper Hebrew word. To, 3 letters. Tobel is a Hebrew word with a modification, a suffix. The suffix is lamed. L. So you've taken a Hebrew word to, which means good, and you've put lamed, which means not, negates the meaning of to. So now, because lamed means not, the meaning of tobel is not to, not good.
So now, if all of them, all Hebrew words are 3 letters, would that means that there can never be new invention of any Hebrew word? There can never be a new invention.
Very good. I'm seeing you're thinking. If it is 3, if all Hebrew words are 3 letters long, okay, then you have 22 to the power 3.
Yes.
Possible.
Possible.
Now, if you have 22 to the power 3 possible
He
words,
was asking a new letter.
I'm asking,
like the word computer. I'm asking if...
Yeah, with modern English they came up with.
let me answer them that. And then let me bring them up to how it works. See, there are 22 to the power 3 possible Hebrew words. That's about 8,000 words. Right now, they don't have 8,000 words. They have not exhausted all possible words that you can construct. You get?
Okay.
And I think God designed it that way. As new things are invented, you'll come up with new words. Like today I was working on tab, and I think 80% of possible words using Teyth, are not there. If you look at the lexicon I'm working on, 80% of possible Teyth words, they're just blank. No one has come up with something that will be assigned that word. So as I think he was about to say, when they invented the computer, it was assigned a word that has the meaning of to compute, maybe fast calculation. When they invented the television, it was assigned a word that is not assigned to anything in Hebrew yet. So it's a language designed to grow.
But that's interesting.
It's a very, whoever came up with this language, okay, not whoever, we know who came up with this language. But when Elohim came up with this language, it was with incredible force.
That's why he gave the first beauty of naming the brother.
Yes. In fact, the first person to start to start arranging letters was Adam. When you would, and if you read it, you'll see it's like God brought the animals with curiosity. I wonder what he will call it.
Because
he brings the animal.
Actually, Jay says he watched to see what he will call.
What he will call.
Basically, he was curious.
He wanted to see how you will arrange the letters. This one will be this. This one will be that. It has a long neck, so call it this. Like, let me give you an example of one animal, behemoth. seen this dinosaur, this one, the big one. This is the biggest animal that has ever walked the earth. If you look at how Job describes it, he says the bones are so thick and strong, they are like bars of iron. He drinks up a whole river in one, gulp. This animal, the biggest animal that ever walked the earth. When Adam saw it, he called it Behemoth. Behem means a beast like a cow. Uth means very large. And if you look at this animal, it's very big and it only eats grass and leaves. You get? So the largest of the herbivores, Behemoth. See?
So they just became extinct.
Yes, they could not handle the world after the flood.
After the flood, a few of them survived much later. They are what the ancients called dragons.
Like this one.
Oh.
This one did not die at the way they say, those ridiculous 65 million years. No, we have their paintings, they're the Ica stones.
The Inca stones, yeah.
They are paintings of people riding on that animal. They say it was extinct before man existed. They are paintings by Indians in South America. And so we are talking about 2,000 years ago, they were still there.
This is what were called dragons until 1844. That is when they had to dinosaur.
And this, really, there's an animal that Job describes. The
Leviathan.
Yeah.
That is, Leviathan is now what we call, it was mainly aquatic, but its characteristic is motor.
Places.
They were literally dragons that spit fire. Not all of them were spitting fire. In fact, the other name for it, the other name translated that the English translated is the worm. This is the original worm. Ile ina miguu lakini inatoa moto. Alafu kuna hii. Most of these were called dragons, but like right now we have an insect, the bombardier beetle, right? It still spits fire.
You think it's fire.
I think it's fire.
But actually,
the reaction
what
of
it
two
is,
chemicals.
It's two chemicals. Those two chemicals, zikikugusa, you feel nothing. But zikigusana, it is what they call an exothermic reaction. It reacts, producing heat. So much heat that if I pour those two liquids on you, alafu zimix hapa, kesho utakuwa na boil. It burns you. Now, one of these creatures, the one called Leviathan, because it says sparks come out of your mouth. It had one gland here, one gland here. So they would not mix in the mouth. It would remove the two liquids and pull it up. Unaweza fanya drink hivi kufanya. Sasa zina mix.
They mix in air.
Na inakuwa propelled with the breath.
And with that mixing there's combustion.
So they mix
But
like
it's
this.
so volatile inatoa literal flame.
And you can imagine mtu akiguzwa na hiyo kitu unasikia. People would say, I'm burning, I'm on fire. And hence the legend, it breathes fire. Because here liquid inakuja mixed with, propelled by its breath. So you think it's burning.
Even that one is extinct.
Yeah, that makes sense. Although, the last sighting was during the time of Alexander.
Yeah, the time of Alexander.
When Alexander was conquering and he figured India.
Yeah,
And
and
his soldiers encountered them in a
not like the one he was talking about. He got the plates. The one in front, the one we call Stegosaurus, the one with the plates on the back. The last sighting was, remember Moose? Around Moroni 1965.
Muhoroni here.
Yeah.
Ben told me.
Which one is that again?
Yeah, here in Kenya.
Actually, some of them are still there.
Just
back
look at
now.
them.
One place, there's one called Mokele Mbembe
Okili Mbembe, which is
by the locals.
yeah, it's a minor version of the giant.
It's a small version of this one. It almost looks like this, but it eats. It's herbivorous. It's not carnivorous.
If you remember traditional stuff, even traditionally back home, don't go into that forest. Friend was just telling me don't go into that region. They won't tell you why. It's not because of leopards or whatever. They just tell you that area to that
Monster.
it's for the gods. Sometimes they supposedly it's for the gods. It's probably a sighting of these creatures they can't,
Can't explain. Yeah.
But man killed most of them off because they were not nice.
In fact, actually, most of them became extinct as man was spreading. Even here in Africa, a lot of them continued existing here in Africa until the whites came and people started spreading and clearing forests. And that's why right now in Africa, the only possible place where there are still some of them is Congo forests. Like Mokelembembe is what is it the Pygmies? The Pygmy guys in Congo call one of them that is still there back now.
In fact, they were identifying the big one, bigger than this one that looks like a rhino, Stegosaurus.
Wait, no,
Not
the
Stegosaurus,
Triceratops.
yeah.
So they're still there in dense, thick jungles. And that is Congo, Borneo,
in Indonesia,
and the
which is
Amazon.
very wide, extremely wide.
And the Amazon.
The Amazon.
Because those forests are thick. You can cross it. It will take you, is it weeks to cross?
And another example is in the 70s and 80s, they used to say the leopard was getting extinct. There was that story, at a while there was a leopard in a extinct. The leopard was not getting extinct. The leopard is intelligent enough to hide. Ilikuwa in a feature, so that you can't even see it. So when this pressure on leopard skin died out, ikaanza kutokea tena.
They start appearing. It's not a feature. This one was seen in the Americas. The pterodactyl. The pterodactyl.
Oh, the flying one. The flying one is in particular South America. Yeah, Mexico.
And they call it the thunderbird.
Thunderbird.
In fact, the
Piazzi
Redinians
or
talk about
Pamola.
sorry?
Yeah, Piazzi or Pamola. That's the term they call it, Thunderbird.
The Redinians call it the thunderbird. Or the translation is thunderbird.
Yeah.
So this thing of they went extinct 65
You've seen
years.
this small bird in a conga kichwa, small grayish bird. It likes building a very big nest. Then in the hammercock. The hammercock is now called the thunderbird, but it is a reference to that because the head is the same shape. Yeah. It is a memory of that thing.
In here, you know, they were still being seen here in Africa for a while. I
Oh,
don't know if it's
57.
Popobawa. Is it the one they were calling Popobawa?
Popobawa is something else. Popobawa is now entering the field of
See the bat, but there used to be a giant bat.
giant
It
bird.
was the
Yeah,
pterodactyl. So anyway, to digress hapo kidogo, but I don't know. We're talking about what?
We're talking about words,
The roots.
and you are telling me that every Hebrew word has is it at least 3 letters or there are 3 letters?
3 letters.
3 letters. So what about the others that you described, like on a letter B? Those are called what?
Now, the 3-letter Hebrew words are constructed by adding 1 letter to a 2-letter
2-letter.
Hebrew word.
Now I understand. Now I get it.
And whatever meaning the 2-letter Hebrew word had, the 3-letter Hebrew word will have it
But you define
as
it.
the meaning, you know, like the plant comes from the root.
Yes, as a root meaning now.
So the Hebrew word, the root meaning is the 2-letter Hebrew
Okay.
word. So any Hebrew
I
word, you can always go find the meaning of that word came from the 2-letter Hebrew word it comes from.
Now, what helps you determine, like now these 3 letters, determine which is the root? Is
which
the
two?
root the first one or
Which
the
two
second?
make the
Yes,
root?
yes, which two make the root?
Now there you need to have, you need an overview
Okay.
of Hebrew.
Of Hebrew, yes.
So that when you look at a word, like now when I look at a word like this, yeah, how do I know it's not these two or these two?
Oh, this, yes, yes, yes.
When I look at it and I know the meaning is tov, and I know of different combinations of these letters,
Each, yes.
the one that is closest in meaning, or I can see has the root meaning, and automatically know it's that one. There are some words, by the way, the root word is lost. So you just know the meaning of that. You cannot work it out. Because it's a very old language. In fact, this is Hebrew. But this we call ancient. Because it is the most ancient language in the history of the world. It goes all the way back to Adam. And you can imagine so much, we are restoring it. So much was lost in time.
It happens with words like Hebrew.
But that's a whole study, etymology.
Yes, etymology.
That's a whole
yes.
study of
Etymology.
Like
where
look
words
at the
come
names.
from.
Look at the names we give. You know, if I give you a Hebrew name, you can easily come back and find out the root meaning. But if I give you an English word, an English name, like say Charles, most people have lost it. They don't know what Charles means.
Where did it come from?
It means
I
something.
think it means something.
But like my name, Bentley, I did a research on my name. My name actually means a high meadow with tall grass. Because Lee is a meadow. Love bent Lee. That's it.
Bentley.
Yeah, Bentley. It's a meadow with tall grass. Ile grow mpaka ikaovergrow imelala. It's called a Bentley. But names like George. It's lost.
Is it possible then that, because we talk about 22 letters, is it possible that we've lost some? Or
Yes. Like one thing I noticed when after I finished with Hebrew and now I started studying Aramaic, because Aramaic branched off from the parent language that Hebrew comes from. You find Aramaic preserved some words. So sometimes I come across a word in Aramaic that is not there in Hebrew. And there's a Hebrew word that the meaning was lost to us where it came from. But when you go to the Aramaic, you find the meaning is restored, or the root word is restored.
Because as the what we call those who came from the parents' language, those who use the original language, as they spread all over the world, right? You find like the Assyrians maybe went north, Persians, because the Elamites, they came from Shem, right? So Semites, they had that language, but they went into a country, let's say with animals. You go into a country with elephants. Hebrew was no word for elephant.
so they have to create
Those guys have a word for
They
elephant.
come up with a word.
And it is created using the same structure. So unakuta wako na hiyo word hawa wana. Like a lot of animals are a good example, even fruits. What is the Hebrew word for banana? Unless they created it recently. Don't have it because it's not native there. Yeah.
Like one word they invented recently was missile. That was not hard. The root word for the Hebrew word for missile means arrow, because of the way an arrow flies. Now maybe they just put verb
Speed or something
to make it a powerful or a strong arrow. It becomes a Hebrew word for arrow. It's
But I've
very
understood
nice
that.
structure.
I've understood that one. So every time I hear you talk about the root word, I will not be wondering why.
root word, the two-letter word that gives the meaning to the three-letter proper. In fact, you can say three-letter words are proper words.
Proper words.
So
Two-letter words are root words.
I have a question today. It's 2 letters.
Oh yeah, root words can have a meaning, as in that is used without being any words being added to make it a proper Hebrew word. In fact, they consider root words very strong words. It's almost like the meaning is of itself. Like he's saying the word ab, or the word for father, which is also ab, the word for mother, You see, those are actual words used every day, and they are root words.
They are root words.
So, I think we finished here. So you can understand how Tobel now comes about. And you can notice something. There's a rearrangement here kidogo. The verb is not inside, but on the outside. In other words, the emphasis is not on the Teyth, but on the Teyth. Okay? So it means not good, but the emphasis is on within. As in, it is not good, and the not goodness is the inside, not the color,
Not the color.
but the construction. So hiyo jeans imechoka ndani,
Sina ndani.
lakini nje inakaa sawa.
Inakaa safi. Wow.
But the meaning is still the same, it's still the same three letters.
We need to learn this language.
It's very interesting.
So that tukiwa mahali when the government is monitoring our communication, as we are ancient Hebrews,
Muulize tumeona nini leo.
they will not understand what you're talking about.
Muulize tumeona nini leo. Mpaka yeye akasema, this is what insecurity. It is very, there's no more privacy. What we saw today.
This one will have privacy.
Oh yeah. Kwanza if you go ancient, now you're lost to them.
Will have privacy.
Watatafuta mtu wa kutranslate.
But they're not very many.
Before they realize.
No, I'm talking about ancient. We're using ancient character. Not very many. Even among the Jews. It's only very special.
Let me ask the ancient character. Is there a program for doing that even on comms? You have to do it.
In fact, you see the way I write for you.
Yeah, I just ask you how do you.
I constructed that font.
Okay.
I drew every letter, then inserted in the computer, then told the computer to accept it as a new font.
As a new font.
So when I type, like now when it took a while.
This one is.
It was a lot
This is
of
crazy.
What?
You programmed basically.
Yes, like now look, yeah? Let me show you. Okay, you know that whenever anything you see written MK, I'm the one who made it. That's the marker or the signature, yeah? So that you can differentiate it from other documents. So you see there MK ancient. Okay? So now if I type the word Eric.
Now we need to go to school. you actually made the font.
It took like 3 months.
You are
constructed this.
Yeah.
We had to.
You can't do that if you don't have passion about what you are trying. I think that has confirmed that you are. What?
But it's fun once
So
you
now,
finish.
you construct.
And actually,
using
let me ask you, now that is Eric, actually, if I follow that, I'll understand the meaning of the letters in my name.
Yeah.
You didn't just do
Not
it.
really. Because you're
Like
using
now,
two
read this.
characters.
Can you read this? This is A.
That's A. So that 10 was verb.
So that is A.
A-V-A,
Lamed.
A-V-A-L.
Yod. Yod. She figured it out. It's even.
Oh, yeah, you know.
Hey, Mose. Wow.
Yeah.
Can you read this? A. This is a resh. No. This should be calf.
Yeah, it's calf.
Yeah. But you notice there's no Eric, the I. Where is the I? The dot.
Oh, because it's not there in ancient.
So we included even the pointed script. So when you see this dot, that is an I.
Although you could also use the not.
Eric. Could write it
Oh, he was actually drawing the letters.
We drew
So you can do a composition out of that.
Yeah, I think this is just
Do you have backup? Because if this laptop,
You're thinking.
Hmm?
You're
No, here's
thinking.
backup.
you have
You've heard
backup.
me many times say, if something happens to this laptop, 6 years work is gone.
You need
I've
backup.
backed up, but
Have
I need
online
to,
backup.
in fact, I've been telling him I need to give him an offsite backup. I back up
Have an offsite
because
backup.
if something, let's say if the house burns, and your backup and the original are in the same
They come for him.
And the cloud, is it a safe you can save or?
CDs in my room. In fact, I've been saying I need to give him because offsite. So if something happens here, he has a copy. But I have backups. I back up every 3 months to
This is the language you need.
I back up to DVDs.
So we should make a program for mobile so that we can do this on our Android phones.
Can you read this? S-I-M-N.
Simon.
although he would be writing it this way.
Although it should be going in this
He's
direction.
just teaching, he's writing this way, but it actually should be written
But I
this way.
haven't found how to make the computer.
Oh, yeah.
Right back.
Because it is programmed this way.
Hey,
I think this I think if we had thought that this is a joke, I think this
Confirmation.
This is confirmation. To me, this is just serious. This is just this is
Because by
not.
the time I even
Yeah.
come up with that.
If we had taken it lightly, I think
Generally,
this, this should make us realize that this thing, we're not here to waste time.
It was time consuming because I remember I used to be with him when he's constructing the letters. Now it's not
Yes,
because the comp ilikuwa inaleta kichwa saa zingine.
Kwa hiyo nashangaa, what are you guys doing?
Unasema hivi ingeweza ongea ingekuwa inakuuliza hii ni nini? What is this you're telling me to do?
So it's like you're giving it something new it's not accustomed to. It's like using in a binary system
Yeah,
an
but
ordinary program.
Yes.
But it worked. It
Well,
worked.
It's binary
Kazi
language.
yako sasa wewe ni mtu wa IT.
Yes.
My background was IT.
So sasa I'm just trying to imagine with my basic knowledge, it would take forever.
I think now I would love to know the ancient Egypt. So that
Kwa hivyo huko ukitaka
so
before
that
seeing that.
so that tukiongea na wewe, I would love us to have a conversation.
You know?
Yaani,
Umetuma text,
Eh.
mpaka mtu ashindwa.
If anybody's spying, if anybody's spying, they have to call in the experts now. We can't get this language now.
and this is the language of the last days. But Christ is coming back.
In the millennium, I believe that's the language.
But you do realize, remember like Tolkien, because somebody actually, people like Tolkien actually created a language for his novels, Lord of the Rings. He created a language, grammar, everything. So that if he was to pass a message during World War II, it became very important. They actually used it.